How is Telkom Group continuously pushing forward its transformation?
If I may say, one of the most important thing is digital infrastructure.
And to do all that, we have to invest in our software infrastructure.
How can state-owned enterprises like Telkom Group become key drivers in building Indonesia's, and how is Danantara supporting them?
This adoption of technology can solve the real problem.
So we need actually to create a new source of growth.
How it can really solve the problem and help the society.
We have to make sure that everyone is actually has access to internet.
Halo Sobat Telkom, welcome to Talk to Connect, and this is a program that features leaders from Telkom Group, digital telco industry, and business partners and industry experts who will be sharing their insights on their journeys in digital transformation, from the inception of ideas to overcoming challenges and of course highlighting their achievements. With me, Kai Suryat, and in this episode we are going to delve deeper into a very special topic that is shaping Indonesia's digital leap. And of course we have to have the right leaders and experts present with us today. Please join me in welcoming our panels. We have Pak Setianto Hantoro, who is the Managing Director of Business 2 Danantara, and of course Ibu Dian Siswarini, the President Director of Telkom Indonesia. And our industry expert here with us today, we have Mr. Paul Gamp, Chief Technology Officer of PCCW Global. Well, let's start with Pak Setianto. Now, from a sovereign investor's perspective, which segments of the digital sector looks most attractive over the next 5 years to you?
Okay. I always mention this, that as a Danantara, as a sovereign wealth fund, see digital not only as an investment, but this is an enabler, actually key enabler for growing the economy of the country, for Indonesia. So in Danantara we have 8 sectors that become our priority, and all of the sector need technology as the enabler, especially the digital technology. If I may say, one of the most important thing is digital infrastructure. Then we can apply other technology, other digital services that can enable the growth of digital economy of Indonesia.
Yes. So moving on to Ibu Dian, how is Telkom Group continuously pushing forward its transformation from a telecommunications company to an ecosystem-based digital telco?
Okay, so if you're talking about transformation from a telco company to a digital telco, it's actually in Telkom we are doing that not just for like following the trend or because it looks fancy, yeah. But we feel that we need to do that transformation to actually conduct our role as an orchestrator of digital telco ecosystem in Indonesia. So we are pushing the transformation in several ways, right? So the first thing that we have to do, that always do, is keep building our infrastructure, such as fiber optics, links, subsea cables, data centers, and so on and so forth. Second ways that we are doing in this transformation is to shift our business model. So we actually separate the SafeCo part to the InfraCo part. So we separate tower business, building a tower co. We separate the fiber, building a fiber co, and so on and so forth. So by doing this delayering, we can unlock more potential from our infrastructure. But the other thing we have to do along with that is to actually open this infrastructure to more stakeholders in the country. So not only serving our internal requirement, but also to serve other stakeholders, be it other operators, hyperscalers, governments, and so on and so forth. And the last ways is for us to actually adopt new technology like AI, edge computing, or cloud technology with the customer centricity in mind.
That's a very big transformation, because you are what's always been traditionally the telecommunication company, and now you're creating that infrastructure foundation ecosystem to make other things happen, right? So from an industry perspective, Mr. Gamp, what do you think? Because APAC seems to be one of the fastest digital transformation globally. So APAC is the hub right now where things just happen so quickly. From your perspective, what are the most critical technology shifts that are driving this very fast-paced change?
It's interesting to hear both the other speakers talk about infrastructure and delayering or creating layers across the transformation journey. The subsea cable capacity demand, particularly throughout the Asia Pacific, is booming as we see these large language models need to be copied and carried to different geographies and jurisdictions around the world. We see the need for data center infrastructure to move from just passive cooling to now water cooling, a very complex trend that requires a lot of investment to accommodate. The network as a service, the user experience of the enterprise, the end customer, is they are familiar with software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and it's our duty as an industry to make network as a service, as that ease of use, to take the friction out of consuming the network. And to do all that, we have to invest in our software infrastructure. So it's actually all 4 layers of investment, but it's called infrastructure, but all interpreted differently.
Now, back to Pak Setianto. How can state-owned enterprises like Telkom Group, as you've mentioned before, become key drivers in building Indonesia's digital infrastructure, and how is Danantara supporting that?
Okay. Danantara is the super holding for all the state-owned enterprise, including Telkom. Of course, always support its subsidiaries to push the boundaries, to push all their asset utilization, including the digital infrastructure in Telkom. But the key of all of this technology adoption, including digital technology adoption, is how this adoption of technology can solve the real problem, can help the society to become more productive, to become more agile. End goal is to achieve what we call Indonesia Emas 2045, where we want Indonesia to become a high income economy, to become a top 10 economy in the world. And we believe in Danantara we will give all the support needed by not only the SOE but also the industry at overall level. We invite the right investor, we invite the right partner to together with our state-owned enterprise grow this business, make the adoption of the technology, digital technology in digital infrastructure to become more meaningful to the society.
Well, Ibu Dian, if you could enlighten us on what role does global collaboration play in supporting Telkom's transformational strategy, and how does Telkom balance business growth with public value, and what is this new revenue generator for Telkom?
Wow, that 3 questions in one. So as I mentioned previously, Telkom has abundance of infrastructure. So to accelerate monetization of these assets, we believe that we have to partner with a global partner to unlock the value and give Telkom and also Danantara higher valuation. So this global partnership is very key for us. Because as what Pak Anto mentioned as well, actually we need money from outside as well, right? From globally. The second question is on the balancing the growth value with the public value. When we make sure that the revenue actually increase, the net income increase. At the same time, we also create value from for the public, right? Because we are a listed company. At the same time, we create also return for our shareholder. And for the last question on the source of growth, so currently within Telkom Group, actually our dependency on our B2C business is still very high. It's around 70%. So we need actually to create a new source of growth. So we believe that the second biggest source of growth will be from B2B business, both from B2B infra business and also B2B ICT business.
Now, Mr. Gamp, as CTO, where do you see the biggest opportunities for technology, such as you've mentioned the cloud, software-defined networking, and automation in accelerating this regional transformation?
I think the exciting thing that we see in Indonesia and in the Asia Pacific is the generation of intellectual property applications that are native to the economies in a region. And what that requires is, as more and more value of the enterprise sits outside the traditional data center firewall, we need the networks to be able to provide that reliable, secure connectivity. And so as Indonesian companies produce SaaS applications, we need to make sure that our networks are capable of being programmed to provide private, secure connectivity to Indonesia. And the global key component here is connectivity to Singapore and other locations throughout the region. And so the key thing for me is that agility is an expectation that we have. The enterprise is now trained with, I've got some application that I want to use, I have some capability that I need. I'm not waiting to install it on my servers in my data center anymore. That model doesn't exist. But how do we ensure that we have the data sovereignty and the data regulation and the industry to enable that to occur in this geography, in this country? And so that's where this collaboration between all the international carriers to align on standards which reduce the cost of implementation and ensure that agility irrespective of what geography you're in. And I think this is, we're here at the Batik conference, it's a great example of international collaboration.
What are, back to you, Pak Anto, what are the main challenges in aligning these interests of investors, technology development, and national development agendas in the digital landscape? As Mr. Gamp just mentioned before, alignment is key.
Yeah, actually, I see the alignment is there. Okay, as a sovereign wealth fund, we always see it from two sides. Number one is economic value. Number two is social value. When you increase the economic value of an investment, it will create a social value to the society. And at the end, this society will grow. They will grow their capability, will grow their economy, will grow their income. We don't want Indonesia to become just the user of the technology, right? It has to be implemented here, it has to be invested here, so the maximum impact of the technology adoption, digital infrastructure adoption can be really realized by the society, all society in Indonesia.
Sure. And Ibu Dian, in terms of global collaboration, how is Telkom positioning itself as a catalyst in building an inclusive and sustainable digital economy for Indonesia?
Yeah, so the first word there, the inclusivity. So we have to make sure that everyone is actually has access to internet, for instance. Yeah, to make sure that everyone has access to internet, we have to do two things. The first is that we have to build our digital infrastructure throughout Indonesia, right? But of course, even now, we still have areas that actually is not covered yet by internet. So then we have to work with all stakeholders, government, dan antara other global party to actually reach those areas. The second is to make sure that people can actually utilize internet for their daily job. So then they can actually use internet to increase their income, right? But to do that, then we have to make sure that the digital literacy is also improved. So that's one side. The other side, to make sure the sustainability, is that when we are doing the business, when we operate the network, we have to make sure efficiency, right? And also we have to make sure that the energy that we use is actually renewable energy, and so on and so forth. And to do that, actually, we also need to adopt a certain technology that will actually increase the efficiency for our operation.
And to Mr. Gamp, how are you integrating these capabilities to support enterprises and partners in APAC's digital growth?
A lot of it comes through partnership, and we acknowledge that a lot of the economic value that is generated today comes from cloud environments. So whether that's Alibaba Cloud or Amazon or Microsoft or Google, a lot of the enterprise's ability to generate value through its creation of intellectual property and the data, which is most critical to monetization, is happening in these cloud environments. So one of the reasons that we integrated the Console Connect platform with the PCCW Global and our partner networks was so that we could extend that capability to privately connected cloud environments all around the world.
And back to Pak Anto, how can Danantara and Telkom work together to encourage broad digital adoption and inclusion across all communities?
I think Danantara always push its subsidiary, including Telkom Indonesia, to increase also not only on the digital infrastructure but also on the digital platform and services. The way they do it is we always ask our subsidiary to invite partnership with other. For me and for us in Danantara, there's no way you can grow by yourself. We have to collaborate with as many global experts as possible to improve the implementation and at the end again to make impact on the society.
Now, to all three of you, our panelists, if you could hope for one meaningful outcome from strategic platforms like Batik, whether in the form of collaboration, solution, or mindset shift, what would it be for each and one of you and your representing institutions?
I think for me, it's the opportunity to showcase the innovation that occurs within the region. And this is an opportunity for the rest of the industry to understand leadership actually can happen anywhere. And here's a great showcase opportunity to do so. So I think that's one of the key benefits. It is about collaboration, it is about cooperation and open standards, and acknowledging that a lot of the innovation can happen right here in Indonesia.
Ibu Dian?
For me, one thing that crossed my mind is that for us to stay relevant, because you know, the world, the technology actually move faster and faster. So our ecosystem keeps changing and so on and so forth. So then, as you said, we have to be agile, to be always relevant with our customers, with our stakeholders, with all the environments among us, and also to actually make us sharp all the time, and of course to keep learning.
To keep learning. Pak Anto?
For me, okay, the event like Batik today is a very good event. Everybody have the same ambition, everybody have the same vision. Let's shift that ambition and vision into real action on how we can create something, we can make a deal on creating some project that really have impact on the society. That's the most important one.
Collaboration is nothing without actual impact and action. Certainly lots of quotes to take away, and Pak Anto, Bu Dian, Mr. Gam, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to let you get back to your busy schedules. And now, Sobat Telkom, thank you for watching this episode of Talk to Connect with the topic Shaping Indonesia's Digital Leap. Don't forget to follow us on our social media, on Instagram at Telkom Indonesia, subscribe to our YouTube channel, also at Telkom Indonesia, and make sure you do not miss out on the very insightful discussions on Talk to Connect. Thank you and see you at the next episode.